Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm here to show you one of the best, if not the best jungler for low elo and beginners to climb on, and that is Xin Zhao. He's viable in literally every single elo in the game, whether it is iron, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, or challenger, it doesn't matter. He is strong, and funny enough, his worst matchups are generally considered not viable junglers. Wukong and Warwick, he has a slightly negative win rate versus, but neither one of them is that prevalent, so if you're up against any kind of meta jungler, don't worry. It is, at worst case scenario, a 50-50 matchup, if not a positive matchup in your favor. This is mainly due to all the Xin Zhao buffs he's gotten. I'm not even getting a leash here. It's something to expect if you're playing low mid elo, or even in higher elo. People tend to be on autopilot, stream sniping and cheating and things of that nature. But yeah, so we're not getting a leash, but guess what? It doesn't really matter because you're going to be full HP anyways at the end of your Xin Zhao clear. Even if you get a little bit low at first, I would not sweat it. Xin Zhao generally skips his raptors and golems until he is level 3. Tends to start with his bot lane and then clear upwards. He can clear out his whole blue side. It's just mainly the raptors and golems, which take him a long time to take if he's not level 3 yet. I'm going to kite this back towards our blue buff. We've not actually used a potion yet. That's fine. We will be healing up regardless. Use the AoE on our E to finish them off. After a Gromp, we'll literally be full HP without using a refill. Unless you think you're going to get invaded, I wouldn't bother using the refills. I'd save them for scuttle fights, or at least save one for scuttle fight. I will say, not getting a leash does set your HP behind by a decent bit. I'm actually going to go ahead and use a refill. You can use your smite on blue buff if you really need to. If you weren't taking it properly, or if you haven't used a refill at this point. We still have both of our smite charges. You go ahead and smite them. The lower you are, the more HP Gromp gives you back, so ideally you want to be below half health. And you smite it, and then boom, you get all of your HP back. Should be close to full HP, especially if you have had a leash. Should be on scuttle right about the time it's spawning. Looks like Wukong's in the general area. I'm going to smite to start with. I don't see the enemy jungler here. The smite pulls off the shield immediately. The enemy junglers in the area don't smite it, because then they're just going to outsmite you. The smite pulls off the shield to start with. Yasuo doesn't really look gankable. I want that opposite side scuttle. If you land your W, it gives you a lot more range. Like, I can dash to that. I actually ended up going for Conquer instead of Hellblades. Hellblades is really good on Xin Zhao, but if you look at my team, it's not particularly tanky. All we have is Nautilus for the tank. In games like this, I would highly recommend Conqueror instead of Hellblades. If your team has 2 or more tanks, then go Hellblades in. They'll be fine. I need to push this away from their bot lane, push it towards my mid prio. And then I think you see Gragas top side. Gragas jungle's pretty bad right now. Should have this gank. We're going to be going for a shield bow rush into Essence Reaver. It is super nasty, roughly 65% win rate. We're going to walk up, dash on him to start with. We're going to go for Seraphine. Knock her up into W. She's dead. She ain't even healed. It's not enough. I'm going to auto attack E. Get that kill as well. Just make sure before you use your W, if you are in range to auto them, or if you are in range to E, just go ahead and get on top of them first. Knock them up before you W. Your W is your biggest source of damage, and it's better not to miss it than it is to try to use it and land it raw. Just knock them up, then use it. We could actually stay for a plate or two. Bot lane turret pre 5 minutes still takes full damage on like top and mid turret. So since we got this gank off, we can stay for a plate or two. We have a lot of minions as well. I'm going to step up to get some vision on her. Maybe bait out an ability like that. Use my attack speed on minion. Trying to get this last plate. Going to activate my refill. We didn't quite get it. All we needed was like one more auto from each of us. It's fine. I'm going to flip on my oracles. Make sure there's no ward in this bush. I could gank this. This is very gankable if I can land my W. Looks like MF wants to back. I kind of want to back here too. You may be wondering why the shield bow. That's more of an 80 carry item. It is typically built on 80 carries. We're starting to see more bruisers branch out into the shield bow. Xin Zhao being one of them. The reason why is it allows you to get a lifeline item first item while still getting a bunch of useful stats. 80 attack speed, crit, life steal. You'll be full HP all the time. The lifeline lets you set up dives and have really nasty 1v1s and 2v2s. And then typically after the Moral Shield Bow. If you want to go tankier, you can get things like GA or Death Stance. If you want to go more damage, you can pick up Essence Reaver. Going Bork also kind of makes you tanky, so Bork is an option as well. The life still it gives back. You can also get Dead Man's Force of Nature on Xin Zhao like a Poppy would. Being fast and tanky on him isn't a bad option, especially if you're going to go for Conqueror setup. We probably will get a Dead Man's this game. They have a lot of skill shots. The Gragas R, Gragas Q, Yasuo Tornado. That we can dodge that stuff. Seraphine skill shots as well. Jhin skill shots. We'll be in pretty good shape. Once you are level 3, you can take any of your camps really comfortably. You can even W them over the wall, which gives you vision, which lets you jump right over. You can do this with any camp in the game or even against champions if you land your W. The vision aspect is nice. You can do this with Dragon too. I'm not going to do it here because I don't want it. I want to go to my golems, but you could W Dragon from here. E over. Gives you insane range. Like, look at that. Oh, wait. Yeah, look at that range. It's so gross. It's basically 2 Kha'Zix jumps. Pre-Kha'Zix jump upgrade to 2 Kha'Zix jump. We have our R now. Xin R is mainly just an auto attack resetter and 1 versus 1s. In team fights, you usually use it to block off their dashes, their jumps. Like a Wukong jump, I could arm off my team. Just go for this guy, Nautilus. Gonna E, Q on top, knock him up into W. He's dead. Nautilus took the kill. I'm gonna leave a control word here. We could potentially dive Seraphine. I'm gonna bop this. We could set up Dragon, like I showed you. We can just W, then dash to it from a ridiculous distance. Xin got a buff this season, allows him to do this. It's really, really strong. That's why he's been a top 5 jungler for like the past 5 or 6 patches, I believe. It's been a while. One of the best jungle champs in the game. Solid clears, great scuttle fights, great objective taking, great 2v2s, great 3v3s. I would say his 5v5s tend to struggle unless you are on Conqueror. If you're on Conqueror, I would say he actually kind of outscales a Kha'Zix Rengar as well. I would make that argument. And I think his win rate easily defends that argument. Compared to a Kha'Zix Rengar, their win rates fluctuate quite a bit, tend to be on the low side because if you're not playing them perfectly, you just die a lot and you don't give your team any value. Since that was very point and click, he has no skill shots if you just knock them up before you W. Champions like that are favorites in just about every ELO. I'm surprised Annie isn't played more. Annie's the same way. I feel like Annie isn't played as much just because she's not aesthetically, like, people typically play what they think is cool. People don't usually look at Annie and say, wow, that looks cool, but she has a pretty cool kit. I like the champ. It's just I kind of prefer Tristana, so when I do play mid, I go Tristana unless it's an easy Annie matchup, in which case I'll go Annie. We have a kill on Yasuo here. I was holding on to my E. I only need a few more autos to kill Scuttle. Might as well hold on to it. Yasuo is shoving up. We're going to walk up, hold on to our dash. If you're already behind them, just start hitting them with your auto attacks. Like this. Knock them up in a W. We auto attack, then R, then auto again. Your R is just an auto attack resetter once you're already in combat, and it's 1 versus 1. It has way more range than your autos, about triple the range. Since R is kind of bad for 1 versus 1s normally. It's very negligible. You're going to want to max your W first, then you're going to want to max your E, maxing your Q last. Your W does reduce damage to minions, unfortunately. But that being said, Xin Zhao is still a very good mid and a solid top laner. I think he's a better mid than he is top, generally. I'm about to get wrecked. Oh, nice. That was beautiful, Kata. Thank you for saving me. I gotta reset. Gragas actually had as many items as me there because I'm sitting on about 3k gold. We could check. We could use a W to check over the walls too. It's like we see that's up, we W over. It saves in so much time. It's like a better version of a Graves dash because it's just so much range. Graves hops over his camp wall, same with Kindred. They can get to their camps faster. Xin can do that too if you just use your W first. We're back to full HP. Beautiful. Oh yeah, I'll gank this. I can arm towards my teammate. Your R is really, really good when you push him towards a teammate or a turret. I need to get on him though. I just jumped immediately. Even though I'm behind him and I can walk up, there's no need. I needed to try to save the GP there. I'll go ahead and push Herald. Even though I'm sitting on a bunch of gold, getting a Herald's the move here. Their top laner's dead. Ooh, actually, you know, I'll start it, but we're going to keep a close eye on this Gragas. He's spooking me a bit. Okay, he's moving away, and he thinks I'm just backing because I'm on a lot of gold. I'm going to pull Herald out. You can pull this guy out really, really far. You can pull him out a little bit farther than I did there. I'll show you. You can pull him out even farther than this. This is a pretty comfortable spot because can easily escape from here if I need to. I started walking back a bit too far. We'll knock this guy up. We could go mid again. We're full HP. This is the great thing about Xin Zhao. It's just full HP all the time. And we can lay our Herald mid. Get the last bit of those. I don't want to steal these minions. I just want to shove the wave so we can get this turret. As long as we get 2 Herald body slams, it was a highly optimal Herald. It's pretty much all you could ask for. 2 body slams is really, really good. Anything more than that is probably just GG's. If you get that much value. It takes 2 1/4 plates. Kata really should stay for the next turret. Help me shove the wave. Oh, that's not great. I'm gonna R him back. Yeah, I'm out of here. I'm sitting on way too much gold. But yeah, we got off 2 Herald body slams. We got a full turret plating. And we got most of that turret as well. It's really, really good. He just juked me out. That sucks. He's dead. He's not very strong. Like, even though I haven't spent my gold, I'm Conqueror Xin Zhao. I can take a hit. I have Ravenous, Sudden Impact, Last Stand. Last Stand's really good on scrappy champs like Xin Zhao, Warwick. Olaf. We have Shield Bow now. We're going to go ahead, push towards either Merc Treads or Plated Steel Caps against their team. They have 80, 80, 80. Most of their CC is displacements like Wukong knockup, double Gragas knockup, Yasuo displacements, to where that tenacity isn't going to help me at all. Tenacity doesn't work against displacements or suppressions, so we're not going to bother there. We'll just go ahead and go play steel caps. We'll get way more value. The only thing that the tenacity would help us against is Jhin Snare, Jhin Slow, Seraphine Snare, Seraphine Taunt. That's it. The majority of their CC it won't even do anything against. We got our shield bow now. We're building into Essence Reaver. Really gosh darn strong. We're going to push red buff straight into Dragon because we can. And we will. Realistically, this game isn't going to last long enough for us to get Dragon Soul, so like I wouldn't go for this realistically if I wasn't making it a video. But for the sake of you people who are ahead or get successful ganks and you just never go for dragons, this one's for you. But realistically, I wouldn't go for this. This is pointless. I would just play for the next Herald, which is up in 3 minutes, and then I'm going to end the game. I try to end games before Dragon Soul ever happens. That way, everyone doesn't have a bunch of items. You're less reliant on your teammates, the less items the enemies have. Ooh, this looks easy, dude. Knock him up in a W. I think I actually missed my W there, unfortunately. I'm gonna flash E. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I really needed Nautilus to tank there. He pulled out a bit early. He could have taken another shot or two. I think he was even on his aftershock when he pulled out, unfortunately. That's fine. Look at our health. This is why Shield Bow is so cool. We're back to full health before we've even taken half of the wolf camp. It's so nasty. Healing in League this season is so out of hand. Almost every item you'd want to buy gives you some disgusting form of healing. They even buffed Warmogs recently, so now tanks can access that same kind of healing. Or Soraka. Knock him up, bada boom, W spams. We're gonna start, we'll go for this bot lane turret. This is a really bad fight. There's 4-man stack. They're low. I don't want to fight that. We just go for this. We pinch the enemies as they step up. We should find them right here. They're not here. I could see them over the wall with my oracles. They're just pushing mid. Might be able to actually kill one of them as they cross over to defend bot turret. Yeah, they're getting so greedy. I'm just going to kill them both here. Now their one's full item. I should be able to kill both. Oh, Seraphine's actually full item. That's gross. Support items are super cheap to buy. I'm going to dash to her first. Knock her up before we go to W. We W'd since we were snared at that point. That should be GG's realistically. They should FF off that. I don't think they're gonna. There's always that one person who votes no. I don't think they necessarily... Well, I guess they do outscale us, to be fair. Their comp really does scale with the Wukong Gragas. Also, that's a ridiculous amount of CC. So you can make the argument they should play it out, get our shutdowns. I can see that. As long as I don't throw my shutdown, we just win. This guy's being this dumb? What? Yeah, that was not close, my friend. He lined himself up against the wall so I could raw W there, and then use my Q to put it on lower cooldown. I'm full Conqueror stacks here. Like, I'm really strong. Xin Zhao with shield bow is probably his best item right now. Eclipse isn't bad on him. I'd only take Eclipse on maybe Xin Zhao mid for more bursting potential. Shield bow is just such a good item. I think Eclipse is cheaper technically. I think that's another one of its big draws. It's a mid laner. 3,200. How much is this? Yeah, Eclipse is 200 cheaper. But yeah, Shield bow is OP. Really is. You can still go Stridebreaker Xin Zhao. You could go Frostfire Xin Zhao. Shield bow is just too good not to take at the moment. It's too gosh darn strong. Unless you solo tanks. Even if they have a Bramble, as long as they're not fed, you can still heal off of them because you're passive. I would take that. She's going to snare and taunt me under turret. I don't have tenacity, so against her it would actually be nice. We whip him with our R. Do you see how he's out of range of our auto attacks? So it's kind of like the last auto attack and the auto attack resetter. We auto into the R, finish him off. Your R really doesn't do that much damage. It's only like, it's 245 at level 2, which is nothing. Like, at least in R at level 2, I believe, is like 450. It's way more. It's like twice the amount. It's very low base damage. It's slightly higher than your auto attack damage. At level 1, it's only 75 damage. So level 1 Xin R literally does less damage than his autos. It's kind of dumb. So yeah, you just use it as an auto attack resetter. Or when they're out of your auto range. Kind of like how Warwick uses his Q. Very similar. In terms of when you actually use it. His W has a lot of range. If you're not used to its range, set it like this so you can see. I have a pretty good idea of how far it goes because I played a lot of Xin Zhao before and after his rework. I probably played him 500 plus games before his rework, and after his rework I probably played him at least 50 plus games. At least. Probably more than that. I just don't remember. It's been such a long time. It could be anywhere from 50 to several hundred. What? Wait, what is he doing? I think he's just trying to end the game. He's just walking at us. He's probably voting yes on the surrender vote and everyone else is voting no, so he's getting pissed. League of Legends is up their punishment system to where if you AFK, even like if you AFK and then the game ends 5 minutes later, you still get punished. You just get punished like no matter what if you AFK basically. You don't want to AFK in League. Just play it out. Turn on a YouTube video in the background if you need to, but for the sake of your account and your mental health, don't AFK. It's not worth. Even if you feel like the game's 100% over, just the negatives of it alone. Kind of knocked them away from us a little bit. Just trying to get damage off. Yeah, we'll start wrapping this up. I don't think we got second Herald. We've kind of been daydreaming. We could have though. As long as you get the first Herald 13 minutes or sooner, you can always get the second Herald. You really should be getting the first herald before the 13-minute mark, because you want to use it before the 14-minute mark, because 14-minute mark is when plates fall off, so really you should be getting the first herald no later than 13 minutes. To access the turret plate and be able to access the second herald. That's something I've been preaching a lot for junglers to be able to carry games. Herald is just so much more important than dragons. Because even if your team gets the dragon soul, if the enemy team gets Eldar, you lose. You spend like 25 plus minutes getting all the dragons just for them to get Eldar and lose the game. Anyways though, GG guys, I hope you enjoyed this Xin Zhao jungle beginner's guide on how to carry. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My name is 𝐒𝐂𝐋𝐒, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.